figured today would be a good day, and I don't know why, but to push back my coffee intake. Normally I drink coffee right when I wake up, but I'm doing the first hour of just water to avoid that afternoon crash that I have been getting. But this video isn't about coffee or drinking coffee or having an afternoon crash. It is about learning new transition tricks. I'm here at Skateparks. It is 7 a.m. here in San Diego, and I kind of just want to talk through some of the process. I've been working on 2 new tricks on transition particularly, and there's some things that I thought about that could hopefully help you guys when you want to learn new tricks. So these can be applied to all tricks really. It's not going to be super specific. I am going to be diving into these 2 tricks that I've been working on in my process. So yeah, let's get warmed up, get a little acclimated. It is hard without coffee right now. I'm not as energized as I normally am, but once I get some warm-ups, hopefully we can really get things moving this morning. Pretty warmed up. I don't want to overwhelm myself, like overwarm up, because then I don't have any energy to learn new tricks. So let's get into the first trick that I've been working on, talk about some of the steps that I've taken to get to where I am now, and that is switch blunt or fakie blunt. I've done a few fakie pops into the switch blunt, but basically it's just rolling up switch, doing a switch blunt, back to regular. And then the second trick, I don't really know what it's called, but it's like backside pivot, and then you do a body shuffle. You kind of like let your board turn backside pivot, but you go back to fakie. Kind of a weird one. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But first, let's get into the switch nose blunt and how I've kind of got to the process of where I am now, where I am comfortable getting on it, where that was the hardest part for so long. I was so scared to just get into the nose blunt stall. Now, the first thing that's kind of helped me is really thinking about the obstacle that I'm going to try it on. This obstacle behind me, it kind of banks out. As you see, it's longer, and then it gets to the top. Like, it's probably taller in all actuality, but it is longer, where this transition is shorter, it's steep, it's got more zing factor, it's got more transition, where this is banked out. And the point that I'm getting at is that I actually drive 20 minutes to this skate park. There's much closer skate parks to me, but this one has the best offerings as far as small transition, bank transition, to bigger transition like the one behind me, all sorts of different types of transition. So that's the first kind of suggestion, is finding a skate park, finding an environment, private facility, whatever it is, that has different stages of transition. If you're like me, you're kind of the person that really likes to figure out a trick and learn it, understand how it works before you just go for it. I do have certain friends that are willing to just go for it and they figure it out on bigger transition. I personally don't have that mentality. I kind of like baby foot it. I want to test things out and really try them out. So what I really tried to do is like go up onto this bank and get into nose blunt, because I feel like there's less slam factors, less risk factor. Essentially, that's what I'm getting at. And then same with this transition, where you start getting to bigger transition, there is more slam factor. So that's what I really been doing, and even going on this bank. So the pivot body shuffle thing that I don't know what it's called, I've been trying it on the bank, and my friend Andy is like, that's actually a lot harder than the transition. So that's another thing to think about, is like, for me, that makes sense. I feel safer, I'm more secure doing it there. So I'm able to figure it out, and that's fine. For Andy, he's like, dude, that's way harder. But as we kind of were talking about that process, when I started trying it on the transition, I was much more comfortable. There was less factor of zing out. There's less slam factor in it because I was getting so acclimated and comfortable on the small bank over here. So you can learn transition tricks on banks. Sometimes that does work against you, like Andy was saying. It's probably harder on a bank, but for me, I was able to get more comfortable and get my confidence up to try it on the bigger transition. A couple switch blunts, so I'm not just talking about it. I'm gonna try them right here because now that I've gotten comfortable with them, I've actually realized that this works to my advantage, a sharp edge, because I can kind of like sit in it, to where a bank, you can't really do that because there's not as much of a sharp edge. So there are caveats with skating smaller transition or trying to learn tricks on smaller transition. It's all about the confidence though, because unless you have the confidence and the right mindset to try a trick, you're not even gonna try it. So that's kind of the point that I'm getting at, is like, first, build up your confidence. Another thing, when it comes to learning tricks, a lot of it is the speed and figuring out the right amount of speed. So for the nose blunt example, I was doing fakie rocks, a trick that I already know. I was able to get a little bit of confidence with that. It's all about confidence. Building up that mindset of just like, you're able to do this, you're able to go for it. So yeah, getting the right amount of speed is a really good tip. And sometimes it's scary because you don't want to approach the quarter pipe or the ramp, the mini ramp bowl with too much speed, but at the same time, you're safer that way. So it's really just figuring out like, okay, I need to get speed to get to this nose blunt. How can I get out of it without actually getting into the nose blunt? So maybe it's even just getting up here and running out. So there's lots of different techniques, but essentially finding the right speed is gonna help you with your confidence, because you're gonna say, okay, I know this is where I need to be when I'm trying it. Now this trick, still pretty scared of. Yeah, this trick I'm still pretty scared of. I'm gonna try a few for you guys so we can kind of go through this fear process together. But essentially you kind of go up, you do a pivot, and you let your board churn back while you still stay fakie. I know, I'm doing a horrible job of explaining it. I'm just gonna go for a few. I might actually try them on the bank again, get my confidence up, so then I could try them here on this transition. I feel like if I fall, I can kind of stop myself and catch myself on a bank like this versus like transition where it's actually got some radius in it. So try some of these pivot weirdos. See, that's the thing. It's like so much harder to actually pop out of it on this because there's nothing to stall in. So it is harder. However, I feel like I'm able to actually learn how to do it. See that? I like that because if I did that on transition, it'd be really scary. You could do it on the bank without completely dying. I kind of adjust myself, figuring it out. Woo! Plus Andy said, like, if that's harder on there and I even keep that in mindset when I'm trying it, then I know I really got it. But definitely not every time. Got to stall on it. There it is. All right, I got like one good one on the bank. That's all I needed, some confidence. Let's try it on the transition. I think once I do land it here, it probably will be a lot better, more comfortable, probably easier to do than on the bank, but how to get my confidence up. It's so quick. I feel like you just have to be up there and fall out. The longer you stall, the harder it becomes, which I like to stall so I really know what I'm doing. It's almost like once you get to this point where I feel like you know what you're doing, you know what needs to be done for the trick, you're just scared to really try it. You kind of have to go for it, maybe slam, take a couple falls, and then correct what you did wrong in those falls. I mean, that's the whole skateboarding process, right? Learn from your mistakes, but there becomes that boundary where it's like, you're not gonna get more confident, you're just gonna have to try it, and that try is gonna give you the confidence. So let's try it. All right, go for it. Oh, that is the best feeling right there. Yeah, that felt good. Oh! All right, 3 in a row, baby. Let's do this. Got greedy. Couldn't do 3. That's all right. It was like pulling that trigger that really made me land it, though. It wasn't perfect, but now I can like really keep doing it, practicing it. I'm gonna try this trick every time I go skate now and really try to perfect it and get my confidence on it. And that's really I guess like a good final tip. I'm gonna do some more switch blunts, kind of show you my process on those. I have actually been trying to go fakie into the blunt now that I'm getting more comfortable, but the point that I was getting at before I derailed myself essentially is that every time you skate, try that trick that you're trying. You're gonna get better at it. You're gonna get comfortable. You're gonna get more confidence with it. You're gonna really master it, figure it out. So yeah, don't land a trick and just walk away. Know that that's only the beginning. So let's try some more switch blunts on some different things. Maybe get a couple fakie blunts. Never done that before. Take it. Whew. All right, yeah. By no means were my switch blunt or little pivot weirdo thing, I don't even know what that trick's called, were they perfect or good or mastered by any means, but I got out here this morning and kept trying it. That's the thing, is like, I've been trying these tricks and I'm gonna keep trying them every time I go out and skate. And that is the real hack to transition skating, is like constantly putting yourself in that environment, trying those tricks. I am so out of breath. I gotta get to work and take a shower before I'm sweaty all day. Appreciate all you beautiful subscribers. Subscribe if you're not already. I hope this video helped you, kind of my process and how I perceive things when I'm learning them. And I'll do more of these videos. I know this isn't like a super practical video. It's more just like my perspective of how I've been learning tricks. So yeah, smash that like button if you did enjoy it. We'll see you guys in the next one. Mash.